Okay, boys and girls, so we have been talking about the main idea all week, and we know that the main idea is what the whole entire passage is about. So one thing that we can do before we read, and this is a chance for someone to earn a bill, have the teacher pause the video and have someone raise their hand. What is something that we can do before we read to just give us an idea of what the main idea might be about? So we might, if the person said this, we might be able to view the titles, the headings, the pictures, and even though it's not on a poster, we can look at some highlighted words because it gives our brains an idea of what we can predict. So today you are going to do most of the work. I'm not going to do very much work, so it's really important while you're here on the carpet that you are really focused because I'm going to be doing very little work today, okay? It's going to be mostly you. So let me explain what we're going to do today. I am going to read this passage. It's only 2 paragraphs today, and then you are going to go back to your seats and read it yourselves and take some notes in the margins. And then you are going to answer some questions, okay? Now, even though it's a short passage, it doesn't mean that we can work not as hard, okay? We still have got to focus and we need to be paying attention on the carpet so whenever you go back to your seats, you know exactly what all of the words are and everything, and you're not confused. So make sure you're paying attention to the words now. So whenever you go back to your seats and you're reading, you already know what it will be about. So what I want you to think about right now is the title is called Now. That's a big bird. And then you see a picture here. I want the teacher to pause the video and I want you to predict. What do you think that this will be about? Go ahead and just predict in your heads. Okay, so we are not sharing today since we're working mostly by ourselves, but we kind of have an idea in our brains what it will be about. So I am going to read the first paragraph, and we already see a bold word, which we know that must be important, and it's prehistoric. And if I look to the bottom, it says prehistoric, relating to times before written history. So that means that before we had books where we could write about what things happened in the past, this is what this time was called, the prehistoric time, okay? So I'm going to read this first paragraph, and I want you to listen. If you want to follow with your finger, you know, sometimes we hold up our finger even on the carpet to pretend we're following along. That's perfectly fine, as long as we're staying at a level 0 and focused. A teenager recently discovered the skull of a huge prehistoric bird in Argentina, a country in South America. So let me stop for a second. We live on a big continent in North America. So South America is below us, okay? So yeah, he found a skull in South America. Scientists say the 10-foot tall bird had a sharp, hooked beak and thin legs. They think that the bird probably ate animals as large as sheep and ran fast. So I want to reread that for you guys. Again, follow along so we understand those big words that we see. A teenager recently discovered the skull of a huge prehistoric bird in Argentina, a country in South America. Scientists say the 10-foot tall bird had a sharp, hooked beak and thin legs. They think that the bird probably ate animals as large as sheep and ran fast. So in your brains right now, I want you to be thinking, how big was the bird? I want you to think about, what did it look like? It gives some descriptions on the legs, the beak. We're checking for understanding here. What did the bird eat? Okay? So that's what I want you to be thinking about in your brains. Okay? Let's go to the next paragraph. The big bird belonged to a group of birds called terror birds that once lived on Earth. It is an unbelievable creature. This is the largest known bird with a skull bigger than a horse's head, says Louis. We're going to say his last name is, we'll just call him Louis. How about that? Director of the Dinosaur Institute, a part of the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles County, California. So let's reread that. The big bird belonged to a group of birds called terror birds that once lived on Earth. It is an unbelievable creature. This is the largest known bird, with a skull bigger than a horse's head, says Louis, director of the Dinosaur Institute, a part of the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles County, California. So I want you to think of, what were the group of birds called? Think in your head. How big was the bird's head? Think of that in your head. How big was the bird's head? Okay, so what I want you to do is we are going to go to our seats here in a minute, and you are going to get this paper passed out to you. All I want you to do is put your name on it. You are not beginning this yet. If you want to start rereading it, that is fine, but you are not taking notes or answering the questions. We do not want to rush into this. Okay, we never want to rush into this. You may put your names on it and start to read it until we receive the directions from the next video, okay? So remember, you never know when you can earn a bill for showing your paws. I expect you, when the teacher calls you by table, to be moving at a level 0 and working quietly. Thumbs up if you can do that. Okay.